Hi guys, thank you for joining me again on the Social Work Race. I want you to listen to this song. It means a lot. It won't make sense at first, but I'm going to try and DJ through it. This song is, I guess it's very personal, and it depends on how old you are. You might remember this song. And this is not, I'm not changing the theme of the Social Work Race here. This is not, I'm not trying to set up my own DJ channel, right? This is like, let's just do it. Yeah. So, listen, you'll get this. Let me just read through some of the comments and you'll get what's happening. Happy birthday, big bro. This is 4 months ago. There's so many comments on this video. Never knew there was a video to this. That's Baz. Love Hearts, Underground London Sound, proper garage. This is an old garage tune, right? The battle is won. Believing for you. The battle is won. This was my tune, another said. How can you not like this tune? I don't know. Good days. Effing classic. Rest in peace, Sean. Peace and love, family. I was wondering where I could get the rights to this track. I would like to use it in a workout therapy session. I so need the remix, please. So someone's looking for the remix on this song. Thanks for coming back. This was what we need right now. One love. 2016, big up the tunes. This song was, I don't know what year it was. It was probably like early 2000s. Early 2000, maybe 2001 or 2, maybe around then, if not before. But this is 20 odd years ago. This song, it must be. This is a effing amazing. Been looking for it around 6 months. Someone said, old school banger. Oh yeah. Oh my God, this is a tune. Tony Jar said, I remember when this dropped. I have never seen the video before. Just look at how Portobello Road looks. That's in Notting Hill. Classic UK, big up Brass Tooth. Good memories, this tune. Rest in peace, bro. And we're getting comments about this even up to just a few months ago. And I want to tell you, and you see the last few comments here, one of the best garage hits ever made. It was big. This is what proper garage was about. Good times and being happy. And then the last comment here is, rest in peace, Shawn Mitchell, the vocalist who died today, sadly to Corona. Your voice made one on the biggest UK garage classics. Rest easy, bro. I think there's a spelling error here. And that's a year ago. And that's what I want to talk to you about. I want to talk to you about my boy Sean. I've entitled this episode, Make the Call. Mental health, you. Make the call. I want to talk to you about my friend Sean. But before I do, please subscribe, follow, download, and share this podcast. It will help others. I appreciate it. I really do. It will help others understand the world that we're living in through the eyes of frontline workers. It will help educate those who are coming up in the game. Yeah, I'm a social worker. I want people to understand what it means to be on the front line. I want people to be prepared for the front line. I want those on the front line to kind of enjoy the narrative, support others, and I just really want you all to absorb some of the information I'm sharing in general on this channel, because I think it's life-changing. And I'm not boasting, but I just think it's life-changing. So I want to tell you about my friend Sean Mitchell. He was 2 years older than me? The most eligible bachelor ever. What do I mean by that? I mean, Sean was like just the nicest guy you ever met. And you look through the comments on the video, a lot of people knew him. And he had a big circle. He knew a lot of people. And nobody had a bad word to say about Sean. He's the number one guy. I cannot put myself in his category. He is a far bigger man than me. And he was a best man. I had 2 best men at my wedding, and he was one of them. I met Sean when I was about 14, and didn't like him at first, but we hit it off. And we've been amongst a couple of other guys. My best friend. He's one of my best friends. We were tight. We spoke about everything. So that's my boy Sean. I'm going to tell you a little bit more. He's a singer and songwriter at heart. He worked for the NHS in his last days. And he was a singer and songwriter. And he always walked. I mean, Sean's the kind of guy, like, he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, yeah, my own. He goes, look, I'll come round, I'll spend the night. Yeah, cool. He's walking with his guitar. Yeah, he has his guitar. And he would just play to himself. Or sometimes he would just come around and just play songs and sing with my wife. Imagine. That's my boy Sean, the nicest guy I ever met. He was the great counselor. He always had an answer for a problem. Always ready to support. Sean was just ready, and he was doing it. He was always helping people, and he was known for just helping people emotionally, helping people process their lifelong challenges. He was always smiling. If you called him, he was always there. So I got married in 2001. He married just a few years after, about 3-4 years after. His marriage didn't last long. And he shared a lot with me about the challenges, and I would always kind of point him towards resolution. That's what we did. He's the kind of friend, if I was doing something wrong, he'd tell me. And likewise. So he gets divorced, and he's kind of off the grid. You know, when I got in contact with him at times, he was just the same guy. Always happy, always smiling, always had the answers. And I think when he slipped off of the grid, there were gaps in our relationship. There were times when he just didn't answer his phone. There were times when he was just out of the country, and he was doing his music and just visiting different countries and just enjoying himself, trying to get his life back. And then one day, I think it was probably about 10 years ago, he told me he was suffering with depression. 10 years ago, I wasn't in a position to even understand really what that meant. But he said he was seeing a counselor. So I thought he was safe. And then he died, about 18 months ago, roughly. 18, 19, 20 months ago, roughly. And about a month before he died, a friend of mine, a really good friend of mine, she said to me, give Sean a call. I called him, didn't get through, Then I eventually got him on like the 3rd try. And I said to him, you all right? And he just huffed or exhaled. I said to him, what's up? He said, I'm having a bad time. So this is what we usually do. If we sensed that there were problems and we could hear as men that it couldn't be said, simply say this: where are you? I'm coming. So I went to go and meet him up because he lived in East London. And he said to me, Curtis, I've been suffering with mental health and depression and suicide. And I've attempted suicide on a number of occasions. And he said to me, Curtis, I had a rope. I said to him, what do you mean, mate? What do you mean? And he said, I had a rope. And he said, the reason why I never used it is because the doorbell rang. And that's when my heart started to go, because I knew then how serious it was. And this was about 2 years ago, nearly. About 2 years ago. And he said, the doorbell rang. I went there, nobody was there. They dropped the parcel at the door. And he said, that stopped me. And in my head, I was thinking, what are you suffering with that you can't find the answers for? Because you're the answers man, right? And he didn't have an answer for himself. He didn't fully get a grip on why he was struggling. And then he told me he's staying temporarily at a YMCA. I said, why? He goes, well, I'm getting divorced and I've got to give up my house. I've got to split it in two. And the house is sold, so I've got to get out. So he was sleeping in his car. He didn't tell anyone. And I was upset with him because I thought, why can't you tell me? I'm your boy. So I said to him, what can I do for you? He says, I need to move my stuff. So we went to the furthest end of Croydon to get his stuff so that he could go back to the YMCA. But he didn't want to go back to the YMCA because he was struggling with his emotional health there. Because he said it's not the kind of place you want to be. He didn't want to be alone. But if he didn't stay there, he would lose his place there and he wouldn't get into accommodation. So it was a situation where his mate was saying to him, who works in NHS, and said to him, you need to stay there so that they can, mark you in and that you qualify for housing support. And he struggled with that. He came around to the house and we would talk, we would eat, and he did it a couple of times, and then just at the beginning of this whole COVID situation, in fact before that, we were calling every day or every other day, how you doing? And I was struggling myself, not with mental health, but with just life. I was doing a lot at the time. And I said to him, you all right? Yeah, he's good. He said, I'm doing all right, Curtis. Speaking to my therapist, I'm doing all right. And he passed away. He went into a coma and he passed away. We don't know if it was COVID or not, but it was around the time. But I think it was a lot of stress that he was going through. And you know what? It woke me up. It woke me up to the fact that he didn't know how to help himself. He only knew how to help others. And I'm beginning to think that might be a sign of people with mental health challenges, where they always have answers for others. I suspect that they may not have answers for themselves. I think, and I've experienced this personally, where you're helping others so much that you become destitute. It's not about knowing the answers, it's about doing something about it. And I think that's where sometimes depression and mental health challenges are linked. Sometimes where you can only see hope in other people, you can't see it in yourself. Switching it on to me now, I think to myself, could I have done more? And the answer is yes. But I also worry that if I'd have done more, I would have undone myself. So that puts me in a dilemma. And after he died, I remember I came home, we went, me, my wife, we picked up the kids. Well, after the funeral, it was a hot day, thank God. The funeral, because of restrictions, the funeral was in the street. Yeah, it was in the street in his area. It was a beautiful day, beautiful funeral. And we decided to just go down to Brighton. So the funeral was in Hackney, picked up the kids, went to Brighton for the day. When I got home, I just went through my WhatsApp and I started messaging everyone that I thought I haven't spoken to for a long time. And there's 2 points I want to make two encouragements. I know we only have so much capacity, but I would say this. Talk to someone. That's the first thing I want to say. Talk to someone. Don't worry about crying and your runny nose. Don't worry about being embarrassed about what you've done. Talk to someone and save yourself. Second thing I want to say is make the call. Make the call to someone. Just send them a message how you're doing. And that's what I did that very day. And the day after that and the day after that. Yeah, I became overwhelmed, but I did it. And I made contact with a few people and most responded and said, I'm all right. How you doing? And I said, well, you know what? I'm bearing all here. I've just buried my friend and I'm just checking if you're all right. And that's the point of this story, is to encourage you to make the call to someone. You might actually save a life. Take care of yourself.
So tell me what's wrong. 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 So tell me what is your problem. You given up before the fight's begun. The only way you can solve them is by believing for you the battle is won. Heard every word you've been saying. Convince yourself your world is gonna end. That is the wrong kind of thinking. Use this day as a chance to start. Are you ready to fly? Celebrate life. Start again. Together we can fly. Celebrate life. I'm understanding your problem. Where you are going, you know I have been before. So pay close attention. I can show you the way to have it all. All of the power, all of the knowledge and the strength. That is the right kind of thinking. Use this day as a chance to start again. Are you ready to fly? Celebrate life. Start again. Together we can fly. Celebrate life.
So tell me, what is your problem?
What's wrong with you?
You've given up before the fight's begun. The only way you can solve it
There is a solution.
is by believing for you the battle is won. Heard every word you've been saying.
I've been listening to you.
Convince yourself your world is gonna end. That is the wrong type of thinking.